Le fianga le star Barbara Edmonds fatis mai ta ba klame nei ta hel fio mai ba klame nei ta le fianga le star Barbara ma lo lava se fu Maria kia ora. Good morning.
Hello, love and listening for England. Hello, love everyone.
Lo lava o mai Wellington nei ta how's Wellington this morning?
Oh, Wellington's always beautiful, even when it's windy. It's a good day here in Wellington. Yeah, very busy, ready to go. Another day on the campaign.
Okay, Lele, talking about campaigns, or my campaign in Lotu Malo, Mana?
Oh, really good.
Yeah.
We've got a big weekend ahead with lots of people from across Wellington coming to help out at Mana. Last weekend we did around $500 just in 4 hours on the Saturday, and that's on top of all the door knocking and the street corners we've done. Not one negative last weekend, and I said to my team, "Are you sure? No one. You're not just trying to be nice to me." But they said no. So very strong Labour area, and we just need to help our people, get them out to vote. And it's 1 weekend. We've got 8 days to go, and we're fired up.
Okay, so did you have a time tafala mafalala signs please paloka mo Barbara Edmonds mo Mana did you manage to do that this week or maybe next week?
So we don't normally do sign waving here in Mana. The reason being is we use what they call direct voter contact, so the door knocks, the phoning, the street corner meetings, the letters. So for us, we try and save our volunteers, and also it's hard to get my kids out of bed. It's school holidays.
Yeah, okay.
They don't want to come sign waving with their mother.
Right, okay. Barbara, please is update la tamai le taita Labour Party Chris Hipkins il COVID-19 in Hawaii. Did you have an update from him? Lately?
Yep, he is out today. So he is out of isolation. I've got him here in Mana for a little bit today. He'll be throughout the Wellington region, and then he'll be up and down the country over the next week. Okay. But the Prime Minister, as you've seen, I don't know if you've seen, even though he's been in isolation, he's been on media every day. He's been doing his town hall meetings. So he's been really active, and I know he's really looking forward to coming out this morning. Right.
Okay. Why Chris Hipkins in the Labour Party, if you form a coalition with Vasamana and Winston Peters, New Zealand First, would you know why?
Yeah, so the Prime Minister made his views really clear. New Zealand First are currently platforming values that don't align with ours, with Labour, and for us is we have worked with with New Zealand First before, and it was very frustrating. I know what it was like to work under that government. So the Prime Minister has made it really clear: New Zealand's First values do not line up with Labour, so therefore we won't include them in any coalition.
Okay, what if? For my fall election, Labour, Vasamana Winston Peters and New Zealand First, to make up the numbers, the majority form up the coalition government.
Well, I think it's the same as National. National have called him a last resort, but our Prime Minister has made it clear he doesn't want to work with New Zealand First.
So. For Governmental Labour so that means you're giving National New Zealand First make up a coalition government.
Well, first of all, the focus is on Labour, getting out the Labour vote. So we don't know where the numbers will fall until the last day. Polls are only indications really of trends, and they're not always accurate, and we've seen that right throughout previous elections as well. So our focus right now is get the Labour vote out, 2 ticks Labour, and the Prime Minister has made it clear he doesn't want to work for New Zealand First. And if the National Party want to go with New Zealand First, good luck to them, because I don't know if you watched the debate last night, but again, David Seymour and Winston Peters, I don't know how anyone's going to be able to control an agreement with those two.
Okay, speaking about debates, the deputies debate this week, Nicola Willis, All National, and Kamasa Poloni, Labour. Now, I'll have sitting yellow, feeling minister, but also feeling because For Maya Nicola Willis, quote, she really liked Barbara Edmonds from Labour Party, and she also mentioned, I respect the way she manages her role and her family. Isn't that something nice for you?
Yeah, you know what? It's not the first time. I think this is about the fifth time. Christopher Luxon, even yesterday on another radio station, he was asked who would he take to dinner or invite to dinner. He invited me. But it's not the first time I've heard it, you know, but if they believe that, you know, they respect the way I look after my family and what I do, you know, I acknowledge that. But for me, you know, I'm Labour hard. So I thank you for the compliment, but it's not the first time I've heard it. I've heard it about 5 times from them over the last 3 years. So it means I'm a good person. So you know, hopefully their national voters here in Mana will vote for me because the 2 leaders endorse me.
Okay. Okay, tell noi mai ngolo Syrian mafia struggles of our Samoan and Pacific people and Maori people as well here in New Zealand, cost of living. Cost of living. Policies and labor in a we need help. We need help, and I think that's the cry of our Pacific people and Maori people as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's, you know, for a lot of people, it's been really difficult a few years. You know, we know how hard it is on our households.
Yeah.
And the way to get things better is by growing our economy, and that's what we're trying to do. You know, even since the cost of living, we've delivered targeted support to families. You know, the winter energy payment that's new. That came under Labour this last 6 years. You know, the booster working for families. So what Labour is going into the campaign with is that, one, we need to bring inflation under control. Some of the other tax policies by the other parties will actually, we believe, and Goldman Sachs and some of the other economist commentators, they believe will make inflation worse, because that's the problem we're dealing with. To help our families, keep them healthier, we're protecting that free prescription charge, so no more prescription charge like you have now. We're extending childcare assistance to half of New Zealand children, which means we will extend 20 hours free from a child once they're 2. For our families, a lot of our kids and young people, they use public transport to get to wherever they need to do, including those that are on community services card. We're making that half price if you're under 25-year-old and free if you're under 13. We're also looking at more money through Working for Families. And again, that is to help those families bring down the cost of living. GST of the fruit and veggies. One that's been really important that I've heard a lot with a lot of the parents, because, you know, I've got young teenage kids, is expanding that free dental care for kids basically under the age of 30. So for young adults. We know that around 800,000 young Kiwis will benefit from that. Some of the work we're doing to reduce power bills. So we've got some new policies in around warmer Kiwi homes, including incentives for retrofitting insulation and double glazing. That's to bring down the cost of power bills. And one of the biggest ones is we're extending healthy school lunches. We know for a family with 2 children who go to school, for a school that gets free lunches, that's around $33 per week. So there's a whole bunch of policies we're taking into the election. But, you know, these aren't new things that we wanted to deal with. We wanted to deal with the cost of living back in 2017 when we came in. So things like the winter energy payment. Families now, since we've come into government, some are over $100 better than they were in 2017. They're all little things, but the major thing that we know is that if National gets into government, then people lose. Because the $250 that they have said that they're promising families is not actually accurate unless you meet a very narrow scenario.
Okay. Honourable Minister, we've got 40 seconds left. Advance voting. What's your advice for our people?
Get out to vote. Our Pacific people, our Samoan people have the power to swing this election, whatever way they want to swing it. Obviously, I want them to swing it towards Labour, but we have the numbers in our Pacific and Māori population to make a huge impact. So take your family, take 10 of your friends and get out to vote, because if you want the government to provide you certainty, who will help you through when times are tough, then, you know, we want you to vote Labour, and that's the time. You've got 8 days to go.
Honourable Minister Barbara Edmonds, Whawhetai Lover, thank you so much for your time. Manuela Varanea, someone for the weekend.
Yeah, you too, and I'm looking forward to next week. Last last week for the big day. Let's go.
Whawhetai Lover, whāsi fua. O le whianga tau tai Minister Barbara Edmonds, ma le tarananga nei fo i tahe au, tau tua mo le radio Samoa's Fully, mai vatola mo tātono le